just understand me?
Oh my god, you can understand me! Stop! I've been so lonely!
Pokemon Detective Pikachu is the first live-action Pokemon movie. This centers around a Pikachu who's helping out this kid trying to find his missing father, and this is based on the Detective Pikachu game. I'm a huge fan of Pokemon. I've been a fan since the 90s as a kid. I used to watch the cartoons and played the games throughout middle school and high school. I even collected those Pokemon balls that you got at Burger King with the golden cards inside them, so it's safe to say that I'm just a huge fan, and I play Pokemon Go to this day. I've been a fan since birth, pretty much. And when I saw the trailer for the first time, it was kind of daunting, really. It was so surreal seeing like these Pokemon in realistic form, especially Pikachu. We were trying to figure out if they were cute. We were trying to figure out if they were just horrifying. Kind of in the middle. Surreal is a good word. And after seeing this film last week, what are my thoughts? It's good. Yeah, it's a fan service film. There's some problems in here, for sure, but if you are just going into this like as a Pokemon fan, I think this is a really good interpretation of the Pokemon world and the Pokemon that reside in this world. Really, really enjoyed it as a Pokemon fan. I can see where a lot of people who aren't fans, who just wanted to see a movie last week and they have seen Avengers Endgame for like the 100th time, they wanted to see something different, so they decided to go see Pokemon, but they're not really fans of Pokemon, and they have no idea what Pokemon is. This is going to be a really weird movie, and that's one of the negatives, is that this movie is so heavily reliant on fan service in order to, gain its return. And, there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Hollywood is known for that. But you also have to reach people who aren't fans of things in order to build more of an audience. And for someone who can look outside the realms of, am I a fan or not in a different universe, if I didn't see Pokemon as a kid, and I went to see this for the first time, and this was my first, experience with Pokemon, this would be very confusing. But to the film's credit, I think it really kind of picked the best plot that it could have from the games, because it decides to pick the Detective Pikachu plot, which I've never played that game. I've played a lot of the other games, but I've never played Detective Pikachu, and I think I know a reason why they decided to pick that plot. So Detective Pikachu basically brings this plot where this kid tries to find his dad, and that's a story in itself. If you don't know a whole lot about Pokemon and you want to just watch a good movie, I feel like that's a more relatable plot than some random 10-year-old kid going out into the world trying to catch these creatures. PETA would be on his ass. So in terms of the movie's plot, I think it made a really safe bet in trying to adapt that certain video game, because that's a more relatable feel. That being said, of the non-fan perspective of the movie, let's talk about it from a fan perspective, because I'm sure you guys have heard of Pokemon, and I'd like to talk about it from a fan perspective, because I am a fan. So this movie actually really answers a daunting question that I've had for a while, is what if there was a person in the Pokemon world that wanted nothing to do with Pokemon, who was just a normal person? Like, where would they be in the world? And Justice Smith is in this film, and he's in insurance, and I just thought that was a really kind of funny, thing where every time when somebody asked him, oh, where's your Pokemon? And he's like, oh, no, I don't do that. I'm in insurance. That's funny, because I've always often wondered, because it seems like any job in the Pokemon universe is so dependent on Pokemon. What job would you have if you didn't have a Pokemon? I just felt like insurance. That's funny. That's really funny. And I'm sure this is something that you guys want me to talk about, is Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu. This was really weird but awesome casting. There was a rumor that Danny DeVito was supposed to be Pikachu, but Ryan Reynolds came into the picture, and I just like this so much more. I feel as though Danny DeVito as Pikachu would have really just it just wouldn't have been funny. That's just an obvious choice. Let's just get Danny DeVito, who's a funny sounding person, to play Pikachu. But I just feel as though Ryan Reynolds, the things that this guy says out of this little creature is so hilarious. And that is the reason why, if anybody wants to see this movie again a second time, that's the reason why. It's just to hear these funny things coming out of this Pikachu. Ryan Reynolds does such an amazing job, for sure. I enjoyed the performances to an extent. Mostly Justice Smith. I really liked him in this film. I didn't like him in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I really thought he was an annoying character, and I was a little bit concerned when I found out that he was in this film, but he actually does a really good job in terms of emotion. When he needs to cry, he does a really good job. There are portions where his insecurity comes into play in his character, and like you don't really like him per se. That's only in the beginning, but as the character progresses, you start to, you know, feel for him and what he's going through in this predicament of like losing his father. And I really liked that. I liked how I finally liked Justice Smith. Good job, Justice Smith. The one performance that I didn't really like, and it's not because she didn't do a good job, is just Catherine Newton. She's basically trying to be like this reporter, and it comes off in this noir fashion where it's like almost kind of like a parody, where she's trying to figure out this story that they're investigating, and it just seems like something out of a cartoon. And I understand that this is something that is based on a cartoon, but this is a live action interpretation, you know? Live action interpretations are supposed to present the cartoon in this realistic form. And whenever you have a character that's being a little bit non-worldly, it can kind of take you out of the movie a little bit. I think she did a fine job. Her character gets a little bit more serious as the movie goes on, but that first beginning portion where she's trying to be like this noir investigator just really took me out of the movie. And that's saying a lot because, you know, there's animated creatures everywhere. As far as the Pokemon in the background go, like, that is one of the reasons you're going to want to see this film. I've never wanted to watch a film more than just trying to see what's in the background. It's almost like a Where's Waldo movie, where you're just trying to pick out the different Pokemon, like, oh, there's a Charmander, oh, there's a Squirtle, oh, there's a Bulbasaur. However, that can get kind of difficult when the camera decides to go from a wide shot to just a regular medium shot, where the aperture is so low and the background's blurry and you can't really see your favorite Pokemon. So when the wide shots happen, I was like, okay, that's awesome, I get to see everything. But when it's so focused on a character in the streets and you see like all these rendered CGI Pokemon walking in the background and I can't see them, it's like, I really want to point them out, but I can't because we're so focused on this character in front of the camera. But when it's a wide shot, it's great. Really liked it. I think they did a tremendous job in trying to figure out like which Pokemon were going to be where and stuff like that. I thought it was just a really excellent job, for sure. The background is great. Wow, the background is great. I've never said that for a movie. In terms of the actual plot itself, I was interested because, as I've said in the past, I'm really interested in stories that revolve around missing people. And that's one of the things I liked about the idea of this film, not only just the live action Pokemon, but the idea of just trying to find someone in this world. Because I don't know. I'm so weird. I like missing persons cases. And I gotta say, I wasn't really keen on the investigation portions of this film. That's really weird of me saying, because I know I'm talking about Pokemon, but let's just say that like this isn't revolved around Pokemon, and that this was an actual movie based on investigations, trying to find a missing person. It feels like everything is just given to these characters. Like the answers that they're looking for, they don't really find them necessarily. Like, everyone just tells them, like, okay, this is what happened, and they go to, like, you know, from A to B. There's actually scenes where everything is explained in holograms, which I just really didn't enjoy because I wanted them to figure out what was going on. And everything given to them through holograms from the past, I wasn't invested. So in terms of, like, the actual plot of the film where they're trying to investigate everything, I just thought it could have been better. And I know that's, like, a really huge nitpick, but again, like, if this is a film called Detective Pikachu and your main character is a detective, I just feel as though the detective work should have been a little bit better and presented more. Then again, though, that isn't the main focus. The main focus was just to make a movie with Pokemon in it, and I think they really succeeded. Everything looks cool. All the Pokemon look amazing, even if they are scary or cute. If you're a fan of Pokemon, I definitely think that you should go see this because I enjoyed it. There is some takeaway from it, especially at the end. There's some emotional scenes, and I wasn't really expecting that. So, if you want Pokemon and emotions, definitely check out Detective Pikachu. There is one thing that I want to talk about, though. This is a potential spoiler, but there is a scene where we get to see what a Ditto looks like as a person. A live-action Ditto. As a live-action person. And it's the scariest shit I've ever seen in my life. It's so meme-worthy. I can't wait for that to just pop up online. I can just send a GIF to my friends and scare the shit out of them. It's scary. But I had to mention that because I know like that was like the oh shit moment of the movie. So, but guys, yeah, I liked Detective Pikachu. It's not the best movie in the world, but if you're wanting to just see what certain Pokemon look like in real life, I think you're really going to enjoy it. And if you want to hear some hilarious shit come out of a Pikachu from Ryan Reynolds' voice, check it out. And if you're a fan of Pokemon, If you're a fan of Pokemon, you're gonna like this. If you're a regular person, probably not. I don't know. I don't know. So yes, guys, that was my review to Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Comment down below what you guys thought of this movie if you've seen it yet. Like this video, share it, and please subscribe to Pixel Talk if you haven't yet for more movie reviews, trailer reactions, and gaming content. Thank you guys so much. I am Corbin Stuckey, and this is Pixel Talk.